All right, I want to talk about something. Probably one of the most common questions we get is about locking in an interest rate and really what that means, and when you can lock in the interest rate. That's probably the biggest question. So let's talk about first what it means. So what it means is we're locking in your interest rate. It's not going to change. You're guaranteed that rate, assuming none of the loan terms changed, through your closing dates. You're not going to have to worry anymore about what your interest rate's going to be because it's locked in. Next question is, when can we lock it in? Well, there's really three things we need in order to lock in an interest rate. One, we need a borrower, that's you. Two, we need an address. And three, we need a closing date. Therefore, we can't lock it in until you have an accepted contract, because that's when we get the address. We can't just lock somebody in based off of them. We have to combine them, the buyer, with the address of the property, which we'll obviously get off of the contract. And then we need a closing date. The reason the closing date is important is because we lock in an interest rate for a specific period of time. It's not locked in forever. It's locked in for 30 days or 60 days, or there's different lock times that we can lock in an interest rate. And the reason that's important is because the shorter you lock your interest rate in, typically the better rate you're going to get, assuming the market's the same. So let's just use a one-day snapshot. So the terms that you're going to get on your loan should be better if you do a 30-day lock than if you do a 60-day lock. You could still do a 60-day lock, and that still often makes sense, especially if we think the market's going to shift over the next 60 days, and it just puts your mind at ease. But do understand that that's why that date is important, because we do lock the interest rate in for a period of time, which brings up another question that we get. What happens if you don't close in that period of time? And then you don't lose your interest rate. Even if the market goes crazy, you don't lose your interest rate. We then have to extend your lock. Now, the bad thing about extending your lock, let me start with the good thing about extending your lock, is that you don't lose the interest rate no matter what the market did. The bad thing about extending the lock is it does get expensive. There's daily fees to extend the lock. So you don't really want to extend the lock, but if you have to, that is an option. Hopefully that answers a lot of your questions about locking in an interest rate. As always, call me if you have any questions. Thank you much. Bye-bye.